Hello, this is part 2 of how to approach questions in a prac exam. So we've seen in the previous video that we have a question which is called the prepare side. It's where the question starts. It will ask you to prepare a particular remedy or a stock potency or prepare a prescription. So as we've known before, this is actually the end point, although it appears right on top of the question. It's the destination, in other words, where we want to get to. So the given, on the other hand, is the starting point. This is where we'll be starting from. And the idea is we want to travel from here to there. Now, there could be quite a few different routes and details of the routes on getting from the starting point to the end point, to the destination. So we know, for instance, we could be starting with an undiluted substance like a salt, and that is quite a simple. That's probably one of the simplest starting points we can get, because we know with the salt, all we're going to do is we're going to dissolve it fully in water, in aqua distillata, and it starts at full potency, and we're going to choose to either dissolve the salt according to two scales. One could be the X scale and the other could be the C scale. So if we were doing the X scale, we would be diluting by 1 in 10 with succussions in between various steps. If we were using the C scale, we'd be diluting each stage 1/100. Now there are some other cases which are not as straightforward as simple, but let's stay and look with, let us say you start off with a given point that is already in a potency. So we've got some potency form of given point here, of given, that's at the starting point, and for instance, we could be given an X potency, and if by luck we might be asked to produce and to prepare an X potency as well. So if the given and what is required at the prepare or the end point are in the same scale, then it's quite straightforward. For instance, we might have been given 4x of Kali arsenicosum over here and be asked to produce 6x. So we produce the 5x from the given 4x. That would be just by the dilution of 1 in 10 plus the 10 succussions to potentize and dynamize. So it'll make the 4, and then finally the next step we would make the 6x by the same process of dynamization. And this we would make according to the requirements, the form that it needs to be in, the volume, and the delivery mechanism that would be required. So it could be liquid or powders or drops or tablets, what is ever required from the prepare point. So that is a very simple way. Now, similarly, we could have been given something on the C scale, like we have the C scale here. We could have been given a triturate, for instance, a 3CH. We would then partially dissolve that in aqua distillata and then complete the process of making 4CH with 60% alcohol. And here we might be asked to produce, let us say, a 6CH. So we would go from the starting point, the 3CH, take that to 4CH. This would be a 1/100 dilution. Take that to 5CH, again the same 1/100 dilution, and then finally take it to the required prepared endpoint, 1/100 dilution again. So both of these cases are straightforward because what we merely had to do, the given and the prepare were on the same scale. We just had to continue on the same road. It's not always so simple. So let's look at these cases now where the end point and the given point are on different scales. So we can be given, for instance, and let's put the prepare side over here. So we could be given, let us say, a 3CH triturate, which is on this, obviously on the C scale. This is the C scale rushing across over here. But we asked to prepare something in the form of 12XH. And this is obviously on the X scale. And this is the X road over there. So clearly what we need to do is we need to bridge and get across from our C scale over here and onto the X scale over there. So to do these bridges between the X and the C scale, the main thing that we need to know is that 1CH is equivalent in deconcentration terms to 2X. And we could put it the other way around as well. 2XH is kind of equivalent, let's keep it XH, to 1CH. So our starting point over here is this 3CH. We could view that straight away perhaps as 6XH over here and then proceed from there. But there is a problem in that one cannot dissolve the fairly large quantity, would be 1 gram of triturate in just 9 grams of liquid. So we have to have a jumping potency. So in a way, this 7XH in this case is an impossible situation. It cannot be created from the 3CH. So what we need to do is actually continue just for one step further on this scale and get our triturate into a liquid form. So we would take it, the 3CH to the 4CH by the 1/100, because that is the rule for the C scale, the C road, and that will create us a 4CH. Having done that, we can now bridge across here and get across from the C scale to the X scale, and we'll know that 4CH, according to this formula, must be 8XH, or at least equivalent to 8XH. Having successfully bridged from the C to the X scale, now having crossed the road or used a kind of an on-ramp or a link road to get across, and we used the link road was on the basis of this formula, we now can proceed happily along the X road towards our final destination, which is the 12XH. So we would make a 9XH, 1/10 dilution, 10XH, once again 1/10. That is the rule of the road on the X road. And then we would make an 11XH, also 1/10. And then finally take that to make the 12XH in the form and the quantity requested and required. Okay, I hope this will help you in understanding how to cross the roads between, for instance, the C and the X scale. Likewise, one could have reversed this process if one had been given a triturate, let us say in the X 6XH triturate. One could have realized as well that that is kind of equivalent to the 3CH, and if one was asked to produce or prepare a remedy in the C scale, one would move it from the 6XH to regard that 3CH and then continue onwards. Thank you very much.